but I just always was drawn to celebrities. It was imprinted on me at an early age. And actually, through many years of therapy and just growing up in adulthood, celebrities and what I do for a living really saved my life because my dad died when I was very young. It was the summer between sophomore and junior year of high school. And my mother, this Cuban immigrant who was doing her best, and it was a different time, the 90s, she was just trying to hold it all together and not die herself. So we never talked about things. She never put me in therapy, which is what I would do if something traumatic like that happened now with me, with a family member, God forbid. So I never processed it, but I drowned myself in the television.
Perez Hilton spent 2 decades as one of the most powerful names in celebrity media. This week, at 48, he's recovering in a hospital after a mental health crisis that played out live in front of millions of people. To understand how he got here, it helps to look at the full arc of his life, not just this week. Hilton, real name Mario Armando Lavandera Jr., launched PerezHilton.com in 2004 and became almost overnight one of the most recognized voices in entertainment. He was a Cuban-American from Miami who reportedly started out reporting from a coffee shop, using their free Wi-Fi because he couldn't afford anything else at the time. Within a few years, he'd built that into a genuine phenomenon, claiming over 8 million readers a day at his peak. Forbes named him the #1 web celebrity 3 years running, from 2007 to 2009. He wasn't just covering celebrity culture, he was actively shaping it, doodling on paparazzi photos, coining nicknames that stuck for years, showing up at the exact parties he was reporting on the next morning. In 2008, he threw a house party that pulled in Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, Amanda Bynes, and a dozen other future superstars right before most of them exploded into global fame. Photos from that night are still treated today as a snapshot of an entire era of celebrity culture, back when a single independent blogger could hold that kind of influence over Hollywood's biggest names. But the tone that built his empire was also, by his own later admission, cruel. He targeted young stars. He wrote about celebrities' children in ways he'd eventually call out as wrong. He pressured people who weren't public about their sexuality to come out on his terms, not theirs. For years, that was simply the price of admission to his brand of fame, and he was at the center of dishing it out, seemingly without hesitation. Then the ground shifted through the 2000s and into the 2010s. As Instagram and other platforms let celebrities control their own narratives directly, the gossip blogger era he dominated started collapsing. He tried podcasts, video, reality TV, appearances on shows like Celebrity Big Brother and Worst Cooks in America. Anything to hold on to relevance. The influence never fully came back the way it once was, and somewhere in that decline, something in him changed too. In 2020, he published a book laying out in his own words just how much regret he carried. He said he never needed to be so mean or cruel. He specifically called out how he'd treated celebrities' kids as one of his deepest regrets. For a man whose brand was built on being fearless and merciless, that kind of public reckoning is rare, and it didn't stop at one book. He kept returning to it on podcasts and social media, apologizing again and again to people he said he'd hurt. While his career was fading and his conscience was catching up with him, his body was breaking down too. He's spoken about a heart emergency serious enough that he described his heart as getting completely out of control, requiring a rapid response in the middle of the night. Shortly after that scare, he needed surgery to remove a blood clot from deep vein thrombosis in his leg, a condition that can be life-threatening if it isn't caught in time. He's talked about leaning on his faith to survive that period, calling what happened to him nothing short of a miracle, and describing how much he'd come to depend on that belief to get through it. More recently, some reporting has referenced a bout of sepsis, though that specific detail hasn't been confirmed by his team or doctors, so we're treating it as unverified rather than fact. Taken together, it paints a picture of a man who'd already been through several genuine, serious health scares in a fairly short window of time before this week ever happened. Underneath all of it was a responsibility most people don't associate with him. He's a single father raising 3 children through surrogacy, and he said openly that the very career people still criticize him for is what puts food on the table for his kids, his mother, and his sister, who works alongside him. Earlier this year, he moved the whole family to Miami, posting with genuine excitement about starting fresh, saying it felt like the right decision for the life he wanted to build for his children. Just months before this week, in a video to his fans, he said the internet is forever, that his mistakes are public, and that he carries deep shame and regret. He's still working through even as he tries to move forward. That's the man behind what happened Tuesday night. He went live on TikTok from his Miami home, and authorities describe what followed as a serious mental health crisis. Concerned viewers who saw the stream called police. The Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office confirmed deputies responded, spoke with family members on the scene, and found him alone inside the house. Officers initially stepped back upon learning he was home alone, prioritizing de-escalation and giving him time and space rather than forcing a confrontation. A short time later, they returned, and he was safely taken by ambulance to a hospital. The live stream itself stayed up for roughly 30 minutes before TikTok removed it, and his account has since been suspended entirely. In the hours after, a lot of people who'd seen clips of the stream spoke out, not to describe what happened, but specifically to ask others not to share or repost it. Several pointed out that Hilton has school-aged children, and that there's no reason those kids should ever have to come across footage of their father in the middle of a genuine mental health crisis. The message that spread alongside the concern was simple and consistent. If you see the video circulating on any platform, report it, don't share it, and help get it taken down rather than passing it along. People also pointed out that regardless of anyone's personal feelings about his career or the way he built his platform, moments like this deserve basic human compassion, rather than being treated as content to be dissected or spread further. Whatever anyone thinks of him professionally, people were clear that this wasn't a moment to be turned into entertainment. Officials later confirmed he'd been safely recovered and taken to a hospital, where a crisis response unit and mental health professionals have been supporting him and his family. His management team, Golden Artists Entertainment, released a statement saying they hadn't been able to reach him directly and asked only that his and his family's privacy be respected while he receives care. Public reaction has been mixed, but mostly compassionate. A lot of people sent real concern and support his way, remembering the version of him that had spent years genuinely trying to make amends for his earlier career. Others directed frustration at TikTok itself, questioning how long the footage stayed live and how quickly it was clipped and spread across other platforms before it could be fully taken down, arguing the platform should have acted faster. A handful of commenters floated the idea that the whole thing was somehow staged, but that claim has no backing from police, his team, or anyone close to him, so it doesn't deserve to be repeated as if it were true. What makes this genuinely difficult to sit with isn't any single moment from Tuesday night, it's the pattern underneath it. A man who spent his 20s and 30s building fame on cruelty spent his 40s trying sincerely to walk that back, while quietly absorbing one health crisis after another and carrying his family's entire financial weight largely alone, without much public acknowledgement of how much that pressure might have been building underneath the surface. Whatever led to this week didn't happen in isolation, and it's worth remembering that behind every headline like this is someone's actual life. With years of context most of us never fully see until something like this forces that context into the open. As of now, the most important update is simply this. His children and his mother were not home and are safe. He's receiving care at a hospital, and his family is being supported with counseling and other services. If anything changes, that's the kind of update worth watching for, not footage from the stream itself. If you or someone you know is struggling, please don't wait to reach out. In the US, you can call or text 988 for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. In the UK, Samaritans are available 24/7 at 1-16 123. If watching coverage like this has been hard for you in any way, that's a completely valid reason to step back and check in with someone you trust. That's where things stand for now. Be sure to subscribe for updates as this story develops, and take care of yourselves. See you in the next one.